What's up? It's Damien, and in this video, just simply what I want to tell you is stop letting people get you so upset that you lose who you are, right? And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of things that happen to us in life, right? There's a lot of things that we go through, and as far as dealing with people. So I have friends that, I trust with certain things. I have friends that I don't trust with certain things. And those friends don't make me not want to use them as friends, have them as friends or whatnot, keep them as friends. Those things push me to just know who I'm dealing with. So a lot of times we can get offended by somebody who, may cross us, right? They do us wrong. And I know it's frustrating. I know it feels crazy for somebody to just like step on your toes and just do you wrong, right? But what you have to realize is that that's not a problem with you. You are not the problem. They are the problem. And what ends up happening is we had the tendency to take it too personal and hold grudges against this person. And I'm not saying you shouldn't move in a way that keeps you safe in dealing with somebody, right? But what I am saying is that, don't take it personal because somebody crosses you. If they cross you, they'll cross anybody, So sometimes we look at it and like, yeah, this person is, a true friend. They'll never do this, they'll never do that. One thing that we have to realize too is that, like, all of us have our own weaknesses, all of us have our own hangups, and it's easy for us to point the finger and look at somebody because, hey, I've gotten done like this, you done me like this, you done me like this. But what happens is, like, we can't control anybody else's character. We can only control our character. So when people cross you, when people do things to you, it's not necessarily a hit at you. It's just pointing you to a fact that this is that person's character. So what I say is that if there's a person who was still like just a little bit, that person was still a lot. And so as you are dealing with that person, don't put them in the situation where they could steal from you because, they probably can't control it. You know what I'm saying? And then, even when it comes to talking, if somebody would talk about you, you know what I'm saying, or talk about somebody else to you, then they'll talk about you to somebody else. And I think, that's just part of life. So I think it's not for us to necessarily take it personal. So, like I said, if somebody crosses you, somebody does one of these things to you, like, don't like take it personal and then have a whole bunch of bitter and hard feelings, within yourself because, people can only operate inside of the bubble or the circle that they are in. And so as we navigate through life, just understand that. So there's a lot of things that, I've had to learn in life and stuff. And, even just dealing with my parents, like, I could be mad that certain things didn't happen in my life with my family or whatnot and with my upbringing or whatnot. But I felt like the thing I had to reason with is that, even for my parents could only love me inside the capacity that they could love me in. They couldn't do it outside of that. And so a lot of times, we just get so frustrated with people because people are being people. And we just have to learn to not take it personal. Does it hurt? Yes, it hurts. Am I upset? Yeah, I'm upset. But at the same time, when you think about it, like, the person who crosses you, they are actually losing you as a great friend. And so, I just want to say, like, don't hold a lot of bitterness in, you know what I'm saying? Because even for like our parents, we can all look back at our lives and think about the shortcomings. Our parents can look back and think about the shortcomings from, our grandparents and their parents or whatnot, and vice versa. But the thing is that all we can do is be us and do us and, continue to move on. So hopefully you are not holding anger and bitterness toward people. And if you are, just let it go because I feel like, You know, one thing is like being angry and bitter is just like drinking poison and expecting for the next person to die from you drinking it, you know? And so don't hold the hatred and the bitterness in your heart. Just know this is how people move. Once you know how people move, then you can take the next step to just like, you know, either you have to avoid them altogether if the situation is bad enough, or you just have to know who you're dealing with. And so, yeah. So I think, you know, as we go through life and we go through a lot of stuff, just like I said, don't hold the bitterness and the hatred and stuff toward people, because people are just being people. So, yeah, I hope that reaches somebody. And yeah, I'm Damien. And until the next video, I'm out. Peace.